Here we can see the beautiful town of Watsonville, a town created and centered around agriculture and the Latinx community. However, those same streets and fields hide a dark history of exploitation of the fruits of Latinx labor. From the 1850s, Watsonville was responsible for most of the output of the frozen food industry, until September of 1985, where more than 1,000 cannery workers took a stance against this canning industry due to the lack of resources, benefits, and the newly put wage gap. Women made up the majority of the strikers, and having no experience organizing or protesting did not stop them. The strike lasted for up to 18 months, in which they protested by organizing walkouts and marches. The women in the strike had to live off of $55. Our immigrant Latinx community is painted out as incapable of leading and defending themselves, and as a result, those in power use the law to silence and instill fear and undermine the capabilities of the Latinx community's ability to organize and protest these discriminatory policies. The 40 to 50 women who led the protest organized picket duty, ran food banks, set up hardship funds, planned rallies, and maintained an effective mutual support system. Many of the strikers lost their home and ended up living in their cars. This left most of them no other choice than to leave town seeking other jobs. But the strikers committee made sure they kept in contact, which was also an important task.
Watsonville is also known as an agricultural capital. There are many cases where farm workers have tried advocating their rights, yet they are still being exploited. The latest case was in 2018, where Premium Raspberry Company refused to honor the new contract that allowed farm workers 15% raises, increase in health and pensions, and other benefits.
Inhumana e intimida a la gente para hacer uso de los servicios esenciales. Y considerando que el 57% de la población de Watsonville está potencialmente sujeta a los acosos y detenciones ilegales de los agentes de inmigración, y considerando que toda la gente que pague sus impuestos viva en paz con sus vecinos y contribuye con nuestra comunidad, no debe ser sujeta al acoso o discriminación por ninguna.
Our Latinx immigrants are met with little to no resources to help them escape a cycle of poverty and violence, and are met instead with dehumanizing working conditions that force and ingrain the normalization of struggle for our immigrant Latinx community. These are the people that put food on our tables, but live in constant fear of instability and not knowing if they are going to have enough to support their families. The way America has normalized the relationship between poverty and being a person of color is frightening and inhuman.
While Watsonville is a community of Latinx people, its institutions practice the same discriminatory policies that criminalize and dehumanize Latinx workers. It is a town built for the exploitative use of these said Latinx immigrants, and while they suffer from housing crisis, immigration issues, and so much more, corporations here in town fail to question the low wages, lack of benefits, and harsh conditions their workers endure. This affects their livelihood since the average farm worker makes $26,000 a year, which means a family would make roughly $50,000 a year. Therefore, in order to be able to afford to rent in Santa Cruz County, a family of farm workers would have to have 3 or 4 more incomes, and buying a home is also out of reach for them, because the median home price in Watsonville is $600,000. The ratio of home price to income is 11-1. In a typical home, at least 5 people share a single bedroom, and 9 in 10 workers rent, while the others own a home or mobile home. Our community continues to be exploited under this current pandemic. Essential worker is just another dog whistle for anti-immigrant and Latinx sentiment held by xenophobic, racist America. Their lives continue to be put at risk with no wage increase or benefits, so that the privileged can continue to work and survive from home. Our town now has 80+ cases of COVID-19, most of which come from field workers. This only highlights the underlying exploitative tactics of pandemic policies in effect right now. Why are their lives worth protecting?